So today I'm in the forest and I'm going to be talking about some books that I've read. The first book that I'm going to discuss is Le Mort d'Arthur, The Death of Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory. And this book I'm going to give a 4 out of 5 and I recommend that you guys read it. It's actually a book that I'd been meaning to read for years and I'd started to read a tiny bit when I was a lot younger and then just kind of got lost in the older language, I feel like. But yeah, I'm so glad that I finally got around to reading it in full and I just thought it was such an amazing, comprehensive and complete overview of the Arthurian myths. And if you are really interested in Arthurian myths, then it is a must read for you. So I was already familiar with some of the stuff going into the book because, some of the legends are so famous, because I'm interested in Arthurian myth to a degree, and because I'd actually already read Steinbeck's adaptation of this book, and that was unfinished, but some of the tales were still included. However, it was nice to read more that I hadn't known, read more in detail. There were so many tales about all the different knights that I really enjoyed. There was, of course, Sir Lancelot, and reading this more in full with all the details throughout all the different years just made that hit so much harder, and it made me understand more why Sir Lancelot and Guinevere and Arthur, why that's a story that has lasted through the ages. Also, on the note of Lancelot, there's Galahad and his story, which I was unfamiliar with, and the ending of that was done so well and just, it really was good, and I'm so glad that I got to read that. Then there's some random tales that were really cool, like Balin and Balan, that was done super well. There's Sir Tristram, that was somebody I was not expecting at all. I did not know this guy, and I did not expect him to be such a big part of the book. It felt like he was mentioned all the time, and it was cool to kind of read his story in parallel to Lancelot's there. This book actually took me longer than usual, like it took me longer than I normally would to read because I just kept coming home after school every day and reading one part, one chapter. And in a way, I actually enjoyed reading this particular book that way because it felt more like a fairy tale for me in that sense. I could just look forward to coming home every day and reading a new bit about the tale, like the tale of the day, basically. And I just thought this was such a good book. It was really comprehensive and well done. And yeah, I recommend reading it. I thought it was also so nice how there were all the different tales of the knights. It wasn't just the death of Arthur, Le Mort d'Arthur. It was Arthur and his noble knights, which is the title of the Steinbeck adaptation. And I feel like that really fits this story as well because you just got to know that it's not only about the king, right? It's about all of his subjects and everything that goes on in the kingdom, all these knights errant. And I just really loved that. And yeah, so I recommend reading this book. Moving on to sci-fi here for the next book, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. So this is one that I know is super popular right now, partially because of the movie that came out. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I will get around to it. This book, though, was really good. It felt like Weir found a way to just elevate his work and his style to another degree because it had his trademark, like, there's a problem, then there's a solution, like you would have seen in The Martian. But just the emotional connection here, the relationships, the mysteries, the intrigue of this particular book felt like it took his particular style to a whole nother level. So it still felt like Weir, just in the best way. I also really enjoyed the introduction of a character in here. I'm not going to spoil too much, but I thought that was handled really well, and the relationship there was handled really well. And yeah, the ending as well was what really pushed this over the edge to a 4 star for me because it felt like it just made sense. It was what the character deserved, but in a way that we wouldn't have expected, that we wouldn't have thought of. It just felt first full circle and like he deserved this kind of ending, but it did feel also logical and like it fit with the book. So yeah, this is a 4 star and I recommend reading this book. So many flies. So on to a book that I did not enjoy as much. This is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. And for me, this is a 1.5. I'm just going to say one word. It was overhyped. I feel like I had really high expectations going to this book because of how many people just talk about how much they love this book. And for me, it was a big letdown. I thought the twist there was incredibly annoying. I was just sitting there like, I don't know, it just felt a little bit stupid. I was like, what is this? It also felt like the author was trying to make kind of a grand stance in the book, like putting a big idea there that just wasn't executed that well. It felt like she was just kind of using it to add a little bit more to the book. Like, oh, there's this overall problem with these guys, and this is why this occurred. But yeah, it just didn't feel like it was executed well. It felt like it was just thrown in there to make the book a little bit grander than it really was. But the atmosphere of the book was cool. Like the setting was done nice, though I feel like it could have been elevated a little bit more, but it wasn't bad. I thought the setting was cool. Another thing, though, to note with this book was the title just felt incredibly misleading. It was We Were Liars, and the whole time I was asking myself, okay, like, what was the lie? Maybe that was me. Maybe I missed that, but it did feel like, yeah, it just felt like it was overhyped and yeah, just a bit of a letdown there, so I do not recommend reading this book. So now on to the 5-star book of this video, Foundation and Earth by Isaac Asimov. And I actually have the physical copy here, as you can see. The other books I'd read as library books or just online, but this one I love so much that I had to get the physical copy for myself, just because this book has stuck with me ever since I read it. Even though it was a few months ago, I just keep, actually, oh my god, it was like a year ago now. Jeez, time flies. But yeah, it was almost a year ago, and I just keep coming back to thinking about this book. I thought that, first of all, it was done so well as a connection to his other universe, to the Robot series there. I thought the connection there with the Foundation series, which this is a part of, this is the final book in the Foundation series, which is so good overall, and this book just pushes it over the edge to amazing. But yeah, so the connection with the Foundation series and the Robot series described in this book just felt logical. You know, sometimes it feels like authors are trying to merge our universes and it just doesn't match. But here it meshed pretty well. I thought that it was executed good in this book. Then you get to the book itself with great characters, settings that just don't leave you. Like, I can still picture these settings, their cultures, the different people that were there so well because he just did such a good job with it. The characters, we have Golan Trevize, the protagonist here, and the power, like the superpower, I don't even know if it's a superpower, the power that he has, I thought was done so creatively with like Asimov. Just how did you think of this power? It was really creative, really good. I haven't seen it really anywhere else, and I thought it was perfect for the story. So that was really good. And then you have the great setting, great characters, great connection to the other universe, great universe in and of itself with Foundation here, great ending. But then you just have this broader political argument that really pushes it over the edge to perfect. Like, Asimov has this argument that's been discussed by so many authors, philosophers, politicians for such a long time, and he has this unique spin on it that I haven't seen argued anywhere else, this conclusion to an argument that just sticks with me because it makes sense in terms of this universe, and it just fits so well. I hadn't seen it done before, and I just can't, like, I can't stop thinking about it. But yeah, I just thought it was such an interesting and unique argument for a specific conclusion to this broader political argument that he's drawing from here. So yeah, that was done really well. The one thing that I did not like with this book was the relationship between two characters. I just thought it was a little bit unnecessary, and if I'm being honest, maybe a little bit gross. Like, I don't know, it just was not for me. But yeah, that's just kind of a part that you could ignore. The book is so good, really makes up for that, and still 5-star in my opinion, and I'm so glad that I read it. I really, really recommend that you guys read the Foundation series and Foundation and Earth. Okay, so the final book that I'm going to be discussing in this video is Watership Down by Richard Adams, and this is a 4.5 for me, and I do recommend that you guys read it. This was a book that was done from the perspective of animals, so if you do like a Call of the Wild kind of book, this is definitely one that you should read. I thought this book was just, in one word, I'm going to say it was lovable. Oh, there's a fly on my lens, but what the hell? Okay, sorry. This is a lovable book, and yeah, the characters were just so lovable. The setting was done really good. I also thought that the language and the mythos that the author was able to incorporate, the culture there was done in a way that didn't feel forced. It was so good. And by the end, you understand the culture, you understand their language without feeling pushed into it, you know, like it's something heavier. So yeah, that was just a really, really good execution there. Probably actually one of the best that I've seen, where it just feels really natural to the book. And yeah, so for that kind of world building, it was done really well. Also, one thing that I really appreciated here was the use of an unlikely ally. So that's something that I feel like other books could do more often, and here it was done really well and made me think, oh, why don't other authors do this more often? But yeah, it's just this unlikely ally, and the friendship that was formed there felt really nice to see, and it felt like it just fit the plot, fit the book really good. So yeah, I enjoyed that aspect. Also thought that it was cool that we got to see the different communities and the allegories there for, real world situations were really appreciated, because he didn't just say these are the only bad guys. He was displaying, okay, there's a few different ways that this could go, and yeah, and that was just really appreciated. Yeah, and the moments of tension also were done well. I was invested. I was like, what is going to happen next? Yeah, it just really felt like those were authentic to the book, and really had you kind of fearful for what was going to go, what was going to happen. So yeah, it was just a well-written book. I recommend it. I thought it was unique, and a lot of the concepts there were executed well. So yeah, that's me for today, talking about books in the forest. If you did enjoy this video, then yeah, maybe I'll do some similar ones in the future. Comment down below your thoughts on the books if you've read them, or if you're planning to read them. You could revisit and comment too. Try not to spoil any though for any of the viewers who haven't read. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. More book videos to come. See you in the next one.